What's up? This is Thang from XFaderz, and in this video I'd like to walk you through the steps required to back up your Windows PC to a network attached storage device, and in this case the Synology NAS. If you've ever had a PC failure, then you know how frustrating it is to try and restore it. It will require you to take it to a site like Best Buy or one of those computer repair stores to get it done. Also, it may be a costly repair, but if you follow these steps in this video, you should feel comfortable enough to take care of everything yourself. The key to this process is making sure your computer is set up exactly how you like it. So in the case of DJs, to make sure you have your DVS software installed, your drivers, and your music. So this will make the process extremely easy when restoring it back to where you left off. Before we go any further, it's important that you take a moment and download the Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. This is required to be able to restore your computer if you find that you have to replace your hard drive or you would like to upgrade. So be sure to go to this website. I'll leave the link in the description below. Once you download the utility, you'll go ahead and run it, and this will allow you to create the backup files or installation files for Windows 10 to restore your machine. Now they give you the option to choose between actually using a USB flash drive, or you can create an image or ISO of Windows 10 to reinstall to your machine. But most importantly, it allows you to get to the utilities to restore from a backup. I would highly recommend using both methods, which is USB and ISO. The advantage is you can store the setup files on a USB flash drive and store it somewhere. Also, to using the image file, you can store it on the Synology. So if you do find that you have to go back and burn a disk, you'll be able to retrieve it directly from your Synology. There's a lot of great tutorials and information on how to restore your machine, but if you find that you're having difficulty, just let me know in the comments section. I'll take the time to create a video to walk you through the process. If you haven't already, please check out the video in the top right corner of your screen. It'll bring you up to speed on what we're working with, the setup and configuration. The first thing we'll need to do is create a folder to store the Windows backup in. So as you can see here under the file station in the Synology, I created a folder win_backup. Just to recap, the way you do this is if you go to Control Panel and select the shared folder option. And once you do that, this is where you create another share. So just click the create button at the top, type in the name of the share. Just make sure you name it something that you can easily recognize from the list. And then once you're done, just hit next, and it will ask you about encryption. We'll touch base on that a little bit later. Now that you have your folder set up on a Synology, it's time to jump back over to your Windows machine. If you navigate to Control Panel, System and Security, and Backup and Restore, this will allow you to create the initial backup and the ones going forward of your Windows machine. To get things started, go ahead and click on Setup Backup. You must have administrative rights to do so, but once you click on it, it'll bring up this window. And it will ask you to select the drive that you want to back up to. So we're going to choose the Save on a Network Store. So once you click that, it'll bring up another window and it will ask you the location of the store. And what we'll do here is type in the path to the drive that we just created on the Synology. Followed by the username and password for the Synology. If you've entered in everything correctly, then it should validate your credentials. And upon success, it will show you that path is available now for backup. One of the warnings here at the bottom is other people will have access to your files on that network share. I would definitely advise you to set up username and password and prevent rights or restrict rights to just your login, or the option of encryption is available to you, but it's a little bit more involved. I'll place information in the comment section or in the details to show you how to do encryption if you decide you want to go that route. If this is your first time doing this process, then I would highly recommend letting Windows choose or use the recommended settings. This will create a system restore for your system backup, as well as back up your libraries and information that you have stored on your machine. This screen here allows you to review the settings that you have selected, and if you've chosen to recommend it, then everything here is default. So we'll back up all user profiles as well as create the system image. It will also allow you to set up a schedule and how often you would like to do these backups. Depending on how much data you have on your workstation and how often you make changes, you may want to change the interval of backups. Once a week is pretty good, but if you find that you're doing a lot of changes to the machine, you might want to change it to daily. So if you're satisfied with all the items that you specified and selected, you can go in and hit Save Settings and Run Backup. The first initial backup may take quite a bit of time, so you might want to find something else to do while this process goes through. I would probably recommend not using your PC during this process as well, just to make sure everything backs up successfully. Once the process is complete, you can click on the Manage Space and it will give you a summary of everything that was backed up. It may ask you to authenticate again, so just type in your username and password. I chose to remember credentials going forward so I don't have to continue to do this each time. But once you validate credentials, it will give you, like you see here, the data file backup, the actual system image, how large that is. But the key thing that I want you to notice is the total size. So make sure that you have a large enough hard drive in your Synology device, or you may have to scale back, meaning going into the section where it says let me choose, to exclude a few things from that list if you don't have enough hard drive space to do a full backup. You also have the option to clean up some of the backup files. So if you click on View Backups, it will give you a list of the backup periods and sizes, and you can actually click on each one and delete if you find that you need to free up additional space. Hopefully this video has made you feel a little bit more confident about backing up your own system, and in the future even restoring if you find that you have an issue or you have a failure, hard drive failure or PC failure. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there at the bottom in the comment section below. I'll try my best to help you out as soon as possible. But if not, that's all I have for you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on the website at www.xfaders.com.